Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today is the last day of September, which means it is time to do my wrap-up. So I've read a lot of books and I have a lot of thoughts. I wrote almost everything in my notebook, so let's get to it. Okay, so the first book I have read this month is La Jeune Fille et la Nuit by Guillaume Musso. He's a French writer and this book has not been translated yet. It was published in 2018. It is the story about high school friends that meet many years after high school, and we soon learn that one of the students disappeared at the same time as one of the students, and it was rumored that they were having an affair. So it's a thriller. You're following people as you get to know more about the two people that disappeared, and it's just, I was not expecting it. I have read Guillaume Musso before. I think he's great, and yeah, it's just a twist. Like every time I'm reading a book by him, it's the twist. Like every time I'm shocked. I'll just put this because it's heavy. So I have read a couple of books by him that have been translated, including Afterwards, Will You Be There, and Girl on Paper and 7 Years Later. Girl on Paper is my favorite book by him. So if you're trying to find some French writer to read in English, Girl on Paper by Guillaume Musso would be a good choice. But back to this one, La Jeune Fille et la Nuit. I'm giving it 4 stars because it took me a while to get into the story, and the writing is not the best. Like I don't think Guillaume Musso should be known as like an incredible writer. He writes good stories. That's what makes him the stories, not the writing. So that is the first one, 4 stars. A pretty recent book, 2018. So yeah, let's get to the second one now. It is, I put all the books down because it's heavy. I have read Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. It was published in 2009. There was a movie made about this book. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll watch it eventually, but I'm not a fan of Gillian Flynn. This book follows the story of Libby Day, the survivor of a massacre that killed her family when she was a kid. She is now an adult and is just approached by a fan club saying that the brother, who is in prison for three murders, so the fan club is saying that he's not the real murderer, someone else did. So Libby is trying to figure out what happens and who killed her mom and her 2 sisters. She is actually the reason why her brother is in prison, because she went to a court saying she saw him kill the family, but it's not the truth. You know, she was a kid, she was vulnerable, like she was a kid, and people just use her to put someone in prison to put these murders away. But the truth is, the murderers are still out. And I'm saying murderers because you'll see, I'm not gonna say much about it because like I don't want to spoil anyone, but I feel like most of people have read this book, but you know, I don't know. I have read another book by Gillian Flynn, which is Gone Girl, and it just wasn't for me. I thought this one was better, but it may also be due to the fact that Gone Girl, I had seen the movie first, and this one I haven't, so maybe that's the reason. But I'm giving this 3 stars. I'm not a big fan of Gillian Flynn. I feel like she's not for me. So 3 stars for this one. And the next one is special. So third book of the month was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's the screenplay. It was published in 2001, and it's the screenplay of the movie, basically. Nothing like incredible, it's just the same thing. It was great to be back in the Harry Potter world because it's one of my favorite like fiction world. The screenplay was a really fast read because like it's a screenplay, like there's nothing much in this. It was a fast read, but I was not impressed. I mean, it's exactly the same thing as the movie, nothing incredible. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, so there are things I didn't remember, so I don't know if it's still in the screenplay that I have in the movie, but I think so. I think it was adapted. So yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the book is really pretty. It's a great addition to my bookshelf, but that's pretty much it. Nothing to see there, and I give it a 2 stars. So yeah. Fourth book is an young adult book, is Royal Wedding by Meg Cabot. I'm not sure how to pronounce. So this is the 11th book in the Princess Diaries. I'm pretty sure I read all of them when I was younger, but in French, because I was reading in French back then. And yeah, so you're back to Mia, the princess, and her boyfriend that I forgot the name, Michael. They're still together, they're high school sweetheart, it's just cute. And they get engaged in this book. Surprisingly, they do not get married. It's called Royal Wedding, not Royal Engagement, and there's no wedding. I guess it's in the 12th book maybe. But yeah, so I love this world too. Princess Diaries, it's an easy read, fast read, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, it's a young adult romance book. It's a princess with her high school sweetheart. Nothing crazy, like it's just good, and it's a feel-good book. And yeah, so I give it 4 stars still, because I enjoy it. I'm rereading the series, but not in order. It depends on which book I find first, so we'll see. But this is book 11, pretty good, pretty solid, just yeah, a fun read. And then are we on book 5? Yeah, book 5 is a classic, translated. It's Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky. I'm a fan of Dostoevsky. I love his writing. It's pretty dark and twisty, so I prefer Tolstoy if you go with Russian writers, but Dostoevsky is pretty good. This book was first published in 1864 under the name of Zapiski iz Podpolya. I'm practicing my Russian here, so Zapiski iz Podpolya. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. Maybe Courtney, if you're watching, am I pronouncing that name right? I know you know. And this was a quick read. I love Dostoevsky writing, so it was pretty good. I think this is the kind of non-fiction that you really have to read it over and over again to have the real feel of this book. I know also Courtney told me that there's like 3 books that are related. You should read them all to like really understand each book. I haven't done that, so maybe I'll try that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I give it 4 stars, just because it's a solid read, pretty good read, and it was nice. So that is book 5. And next book is One Dance with the Duke by Tessa there. It is a historical romance book. I love Tessa there. You can see these are all Tessa there. She's my favorite historical romance writer. But about this one, it was first published in 2010. About Tessa there, I've never read a book that I thought was really bad. Some are like less good than others, but yeah. So that said, One Dance with a Duke pretty much falls into the category of like, it was okay, nothing more. I hated Amelia, the main character of One Dance with the Duke. She's the one who gets married to the Duke, so I hated her. I just found her annoying. So basically, when you don't like the main character, you don't really enjoy the book. and it's not the type of book like where the main character is there to hate on that person. No, you're supposed to love the main character, which was not the case. The writing was good. The story was okay, but I just couldn't get into it. It's super annoying and kind of like disappointing because I really enjoyed Tessa there. I'll still read the next book in the series because I'm trying to read all of her books. It's just this one was disappointing. So this was a 3 stars for me. Okay, so next book I have read is an audiobook, the only one of the month, which is pretty rare because I usually listen to a ton of audiobook, but this month, no, I think I listen to too much Netflix, especially Grey's Anatomy. But anyway, this audiobook was Catherine of Aragon by Alison Ware. It's the first book in this, the 6 Tudor Queens by Alison Ware. This one was published in 2016. It is basically like a fictionalized story of Catherine of Aragon, who is the first queen of Henry VIII. I'm not a specialist on like the queens of Henry VIII. I know a lot about the royal family, but like now, the royal family now, not back in like. So Catherine of Aragon was the Spanish princess. She came to marry Henry VIII's brother, who died soon after the marriage from like a flu or something. And then she gets married to Henry VIII. They're trying to have kids. She keeps like either giving birth to like kids that are already dead or died soon, or just like it wasn't easy for her. And the only child that made it through like adult was Mary. And well, Henry VIII, as a king, he wanted a son, and he tried everything to get a son. I'm not sure, but I think he didn't get a son. But anyway, he didn't get a son with Catherine of Aragon, his first wife. And I feel like I really enjoyed the audiobook. I love history and I love royal family, so it was a good mix. As I said, I'm not a specialist on that history, so I don't know, maybe like what I've listened to is really far from reality, but I just enjoy it, and I feel like I know more about her, and I just feel bad. She had a really tough life that didn't end up well, like it did really not, she wasn't lucky in life. Now I'm listening to the second book, so the second wife, and I still feel bad for Catherine. Anne is just a messed up person, but anyway, so that is 5 stars for me. Just really enjoyed that book, really did. So now back to physical book. I have read Les yeux jaunes des crocodiles by Catherine Pancol. The name in English is The Yellow Eyes of the Crocodile, which is basically an exact translation. This is the first book in a series that I really love. I have read the other 2 books, not in order, but they're the kind of books that you can read not in order, so that was okay. So this is the first one. You're following a family. So the father, well, I mean, he's the stepfather. So the stepfather, who is a business owner and is cheating on his wife with like a younger woman, and he's now trying to have a baby. The book finishes with him like learning that his girlfriend is basically pregnant with a baby. Then we have the mother. The mother is the biological mother of 2 girls. She is weird. Honestly, I don't like her, but we don't see her much in that book. We see her more in the second one and the third one, when she learns that her husband has been cheating and gotten his girlfriend pregnant. And then we have the 2 sisters. So one is like super popular. She's married to a rich guy. She's pretty, like everything's going on for her. But she has some problems. And then the other sister, that she's the only one I remember her name, is Josephine. She's a historian. I think she did a PhD on like medieval times. But at the beginning of the book, she gets divorced. and her ex-husband goes to work with crocodiles. So that's why it's the yellow eyes of the crocodiles. But so the other sister, the one who's really popular, asked her younger sister to write a book. Basically, to write a book. The older sister is like, I'm gonna publish it under my name since I'm like pretty and I can do like media and everything, and the book is gonna work. And Josephine, like she's not earning a lot as a historian, so she writes the book to make money. Yeah, sorry, I got a message. People like, I'm not doing anything, nobody's writing to me, and I'm busy and everybody's writing. But anyway, so the younger sister Josephine accepts, she wants to make money, and that's pretty much the storyline. It's not a book with a lot of things happening, but it's still a pretty good book. I think it's a really good book. I just enjoyed the writing, and for once the book has been translated, so if you want to read it, I strongly suggest. I already talked about this book in one of my reading vlogs, but it's just so good. So Catherine Pancol, a French writer, you should try her. Then I have 2 books left. So this one, I already talked about it. This is gonna be one of my favorite of the year. It's Istanbul, Memories and the City by Oran Pamuk. This is a nonfiction. It's basically an autobiographical book by this writer. If you didn't know, he won Nobel Prize in Literature, so the writing is just incredible. I just really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but just know that it's really good. A strong book, 5 stars for me, top of the book, so that's really great. Then we're almost there, but 2 books left. I read The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. It was published in 2021, so it's a really new book for me. As you've seen, like, I read books from the 2000 and before, so 2021, it's the first book by this writer. It's really popular, but it was disappointing. Just like, we follow 2 co-workers, Catalina and Oran. They fall in love and blah blah blah. Like, he fell in love at first sight, she didn't, then they get together, they go through a fight, blah blah blah. And like, the writing was good, but the story was just not for me. So annoying, but that's okay, that's part of life. And I'm going fast because, like, I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. The last book I have read this month is Moonlight over Paris by Jennifer Robson. It was published in 2016. We followed the story of a group of friends right after First World War, and it's just like, it's good. It's not incredible. I give it 3 stars. I just didn't get into the story, but like, this is the 3rd book in the series, so maybe that's why. I got it like for cheap in an independent bookstore, so that's good. I'm not gonna get into it that much. I'm filming a reading vlog this week where I go over this one more, so yeah, 3 stars, nothing crazy. But yeah, now that I'm done with talking about all of the books, just know that I have read 11 books this month, 1 audiobook, 1 ebook, and 9 physical books. On those were 2 nonfiction and 1 classic. 2 books were translated from Persian and Russian, and I have read books by 8 female writers on 11 books, so that's pretty good too. So yeah, have you seen any of like books that I've read that you really enjoy or didn't enjoy? Just let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and everything. So thank you. Bye.